Hey, good morning, everybody, for the second time. A lot of reverb today, man. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
Got a lot of reverb,
is there a
so
way we can
yeah,
turn that?
I think we got that down pretty good.
Okay.
So, welcome to Ask Doctor. I think it's because my big mouth.
I don't think
It
so.
seems like when I'm a little bit louder, it gets louder too. So, welcome to Ask Doctor Andy, number 17. Are you
Yes,
Dr. Andy?
yes, I am. And I'm wearing comfy clothes today.
Were you in the service? I didn't know that.
I was not in the service. I took care of a lot of Marines, and I was given this as a present when I left.
That's awesome. My father-in-law, very good speed. You're doing well up there, Gary. I'm sure 'cause, he got his money's worth out of that body down here. So I'm sure he's
I
having a
can
good
only
old time up
imagine.
there. So all the questions and comments and statements by Eddie Buffalo and Dr. Andy are purely for entertainment purposes. We're just giving you advice. Go see your doctor. That's the
Yes,
most
that's
important
always
thing
the
to do.
bottom
Yeah.
line.
And our sponsor today, Rumble Office Anywhere, rumbleofficeanywhere.com.
One of
Dr.
my
Andy's favorite.
favorites,
Why is it your favorite, Andy?
because you can take the things you need to stay online in this 21st century world and bring them with you to a hotel when you're out of town, when you're away. You can also take it and throw it in the trunk of your car if you're on business where you don't want to leave your computer monitor, et cetera, in a hotel room. It lets you be at home any place you need to be.
See, what I thought was really cool about it is because half of it's for all that equipment
Hmm.
and half of it is for your clothes.
Yep,
So you only need one bag.
you can
And I'm
travel
all
light.
about that,
Travel light.
because I mean, and they're getting really weird on planes. I mean, they're measuring your carry-ons and things like that. And 9 times out of 10, they take it from me when I walk in the plane anyway. They just stow it.
I tend to drive any place that's connected by land,
True,
even if it's a
true.
day or two or three, because I like to stop when I want to stop. I like to go when I want to go. I like to use the men's room when I'm in the mood to use the men's room, not when I'm told I can't.
So go to rumbleofficeanywhere.com. Um, they have a special this month, Andy. Not only are they going to get 5% by putting in the promo code Buffalo, but they have mystery gifts. Gift.
Ooh,
You just click. You got to click on it. And I don't know what it is because I didn't click on it because I want it to be a surprise for all our people.
it's a stenographer,
Yes, maybe itty bitty little one.
a little tiny.
Are they leprechauns? Are they
Internet
from
cookie.
Ireland? So, in our pre-production meeting, we were talking about what to do the show about.
I wanted to talk about something I'm passionate about because I've had to treat it for so many years, and it's such a problem in America. Prescription drug abuse and prescription drug misuse, specifically narcotics, which unfortunately, with the rise of OxyContin as a brand, blew up in America. What happened really briefly was they put a very, very strong push on the physicians to prescribe narcotics. They managed to make pain the fifth vital sign in hospitals, and they managed to make it where people are filling out forms. Was your pain entirely relieved? And hospitals were using that to sanction and bother doctors who were very careful with pain medicine. But, essentially, they set it up where what you wanted is what you got. Things got overtreated, and things were treated with very potent narcotics for longer and stronger than they need to be. What happened then was people who are addiction prone and you don't know it's genetic. They get that exposure to narcotics. They started legitimately. They broke something, they had a surgery, and they can't.
One thing that, and like I said, a lot of times we pretty much know what we're going to talk about, but
Mm-hmm.
when Dr. Andy says something, I think of something. My mom passed away at 43 years old of
Mm-hmm.
alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing I remember them prescribing all the time for my mom is Valium. They had bottles and bottles. We threw out so much Valium because she never used it.
Valium's not a narcotic. And I don't like to use 35-cent words. It's a benzodiazepine. It is a medicine that reduces anxiety and causes people to be a little more calm in difficult situations. It's also very addictive. I was going to focus on narcotics today. Narcotics are the opiates, and the ones that are the biggest problem in America are hydrocodone, oxycodone, and now fentanyl. And most people's first exposure to narcotics is either via a physician for pain, legitimate pain, or grandmother's medicine cabinet. You're 17, you go in, you see, hey, grab a handful, and you're off to the races.
Yeah.
That's why they urge people when you're finished with a prescription medicine, you turn it back in. The doctor's office will dispose of the excessive narcotics. They used to say flush. Now they don't like to flush because it's not good for the water table.
The
But
fish will be stoned, huh?
yeah, stone.
So my question is, like, my big problem with
Mm-hmm,
oxy
mm-hmm,
is that whenever I would have a surgery and they would prescribe it, I
mm-hmm.
couldn't take it. Like, my stomach couldn't handle it.
There are some people where narcotics make them very nauseous and it makes them not feel well, and the pain relief is not worth the other thing. But there's a certain segment of the population when they take narcotics, they feel different beyond pain. They'll have a sensation of euphoria, warmth, comfort, and they say, "Why can't I feel this way for my entire life?" And chemically, they don't say that parenthetically. They say chemically, the body says, "Hey, we really feel good this way." And once you take narcotics for a period of time, you'll become habituated where when they're stopped, you're going to not feel well, be it physical symptoms or psychological symptoms.
So when you talk about abuse, not only are you talking about drug abuse with prescription
Mm-hmm.
medications, but let's talk about the little old lady, little old man that is telling you they're in pain. I'm in pain, Dr. Andy. I need some more
Mm-hmm.
oxy. And they're not taking it. They're actually going back to their little community, whether it's a nursing home or whatever, or their friends, and they're selling it to make more
Oh
money.
yeah, that's
Talk a little bit about that.
oh yeah, that is particularly a big problem where people who sort of qualify for narcotics will use them to enhance their income. What they don't realize, every single pill you sell is a felony. If you give
Really?
somebody, yeah, it's a felony. If I have a bottle full of Vicodin and it says, "Oh, I hurt my elbow and I have one of your Vicodin," if I give them one of those pills, that's committed a felony.
Yeah, it takes me back to when I was a kid that I had an aunt, and I'm sure everybody had aunts and uncles in Buffalo, especially probably Detroit, all the border cities, where you could get 222s, which were Tylenol with codeine, right over the counter.
Long ago, codeine used to be over the counter. It still is in Canada. Everything's over the counter in
Oh, you could still
Mexico.
get 222s in Canada?
I don't know about the brand name, but last I checked, Canada, I think Tylenol number three, which is Tylenol with codeine,
Never heard of that.
and cough medicine with codeine was over the counter. It's probably behind the counter where they keep track now,
You,
but
you got to know a guy, you got to know a Canadian guy.
well, you also have to bring it across the border, which is a
True, true. And they don't mess around at the border. I mean, a lot of people think it's a joke. But my favorite story my dad would tell, he before he married my mom, he always worked at the Ford Stanford plant.
mm-hmm,
And he always got a new car every 2 years. It was a treat to himself because he was
mm-hmm.
doing good.
Oh yeah, it's a hard
And
job.
him and his buddies would go over to Fort Erie,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure you've been there before. Do you have anything to clear, Andy?
And they'd say no, and they'd have a trunk of liquor bottles from Canada where it's cheaper.
Well, the guy in the back seat said war.
Mhm. That's not a good thing.
So they pulled over my dad's car, ripped it apart, and said, "Okay, thank you. It's your job to put it back together."
Yeah, well, Be that as it may, one thing I wanted to talk about is with people who have narcotic problems, most of them don't want to stay in that life. It is a very hard life. They're not high. They're taking medicine just to not get sick. And they've got to find a source for it and pay for it. And most people with that lifestyle, over time, they alienate their family, they lose their job, their whole life goes down the toilet. So I try to be as considerate of them as I can and understanding when they come into the doctor's office, and I offer them alternatives. I try to plant that seed. You want out of this, and a lot of people will get angry, but once I plant that seed, it may. There are treatments for narcotic addiction to aid people, and they're there, they're readily available, and it gives people safety from overdose. It gives people relief from the symptoms because physical symptoms of withdrawal. We put somebody on narcotics for a period of time, we take them away. The physical symptoms, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, sweating, blah, blah, blah.
God
They
only
go
knows what it
away.
does to your personality.
Yeah, they just make nice people. Those symptoms go away. The psychological symptoms of substance abuse, they're going to persist for a couple of years. When people get treatment for narcotic addiction or substance misuse, whatever the correct PC lingo for the day is, they need ongoing treatment for a long period of time. Suboxone is the
I don't know what
flagship.
that is. What is that, Andy?
Suboxone is a prescribed medication that a person who is stopping using narcotics gets induced with, where they get taken from what they're addicted to Suboxone, and then they use it. It's a film that goes under the tongue, and they use it twice a day, and it, number one, prevents withdrawal symptoms, and number two, hits a lot of the receptors that go into the feeling of well-being that is lacking when you take somebody off of narcotics. It's the psychological effects of coming off the narcotics that are the worst. That is what makes people go back.
That is really interesting. Um, I told you I was going to ask you a Whopper, and this is the Whopper I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
Okay. So we're always talking about narcotics and things like that, abuse wise, and that's the first thing I think of. As I get older, I mean, I'm a bariatric patient, I'm an asthmatic, so I take a handful of pills in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a lot of time where I have two pills that I have to take in the morning and the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, shit, did I take it?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason where I'm going with this is that I know someone that a family member passed away by taking too much blood pressure medication. Can you talk a little bit about that?
On purpose or by accident?
By accident.
Okay. Well, accidental overdose is a problem with prescription medications. Typical things that are done. Excuse me. Typical things that you do. Number one, you lay out your pills. You have a pill container that you set up, and you'll have morning, afternoon, and you look at your pill container. If you didn't take it, you didn't take it. If you did, you did. Um, some people keep just a little record. We just being conscious and proactive. Older people who have problems with memory will have some will have benefits for home health will come in and set up the medicines every week for 2 weeks.
I mean, don't, and please don't be vain enough that you don't need one of those little pill containers. I'm thinking about getting one,
I,
you know.
I take blood pressure medicine and other meds, and I use one myself, and I'm a relatively young person. I'm on it. There's no problem. It's just make sure you know what to do.
Yeah, which is easier said than done sometimes, you
Yeah,
know.
we have busy lives. With narcotic addiction, Suboxone is the flagship of the medications. Suboxone is a two-part medication. Number one, it's part that replaces the narcotic and helps with the so that if that person who's taking Suboxone falls off the wagon, so to speak, and goes out and takes a handful of Percocet, they're not going to overdose. It's very difficult to overdose if you're taking Suboxone. So it gives them that layer of protection.
Now, and I'm not asking overall,
Mm-hmm.
but just you as a physician, what have you seen the most of abuse-wise?
Uh, Typically, oxycodone. Most people graduate from hydrocodone to oxycodone, and that's where they end up. The problem is it's not available. Our prescription is absolutely useless, and the black market for it has been very nicely taken over by the cartels, and who knows what you get in the pill. They make fentanyl very cheaply. Fentanyl's a narcotic. It's very different than oxy. They put a little bit in each pill, and you have to play cash your bets.
Well,
And I don't think they have like the FDA making sure that their mixing is good and their pills, pill are the same, and they make their pills to look just like the prescription ones. So that person you're buying from, they don't know that.
and I've seen stories where people will actually crush up the pills and snort them,
Yeah,
or actually enter them into their body
yeah,
anally,
they'll either crush them and
stick it up
shoot
their
them,
butt.
shoot them, snort them. Snorting and things like that, they use that because you get more of a rush. The narcotic gets on board a lot faster. It's not digest and seep on board. It's bang right into the arteries and veins right near the brain.
Another thing I want to talk about, if you're addicted to this, I mean, there's addictions for everything: food addiction, alcohol addiction, sexual addiction. You know, my question to you: how bad is it when you see people are mixing if they're already taking narcotic and they're drinking?
Okay.
Also,
What,
what are the pitfalls there?
okay. You get potentiation a little bit.
Never heard of that. Can you back up and tell us what that
Sure.
means?
Think of it like Larry Bird. You know how when Larry Bird played, he was only one guy, but it seemed like he was two or three because he made everybody else
He's a
play
nasty
well.
dude. Yeah.
It works that way, where a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of narcotic will give a bigger effect than you would expect. Big thing is respiratory depression. People stop breathing. You'll have a lot of people who take the Valium family that you mentioned and narcotics, and that's a super dangerous combination, especially at bedtime, because your respiratory drive goes down at bedtime. Narcotics push it down a little, and combination, you have a lot of people not waking up.
And it, like I said, things just pop into my head as we're talking here. And I mean, my parents, we had big families. I mean, they both came from families of 13, obviously. There was no hobbies back
Mm.
then. And I remember the word and the red color of them, and that's Darvocet.
Okay,
What are
Darvocet.
those, and are they still out
Okay,
there?
sure. Darvocet is no longer available. Darvocet was a narcotic analog. It was very mild, and it was prescribed very easily during the 60s and 70s. And people would take lots of them because they were readily available. And they would get the same habituation that they were taking, morphine or heroin or
Now, how much do you see now, Andy, especially with so many states having marijuana legal
mm-hmm.
now? When do you have people come to you drug seeking for marijuana? And is it going to be marijuana that they smoke? Is it going to be the tincture? Is it going to be the marijuana THC that you can get seltzers now? Explain to me what the tincture is,
Okay.
and talk a little bit about the lollipops too.
Talk a little bit about just marijuana in general. Very few people really come to me and ask for pot because most of the states I work in, they can just go to the corner dispensary and pick it up. It comes as the smokable marijuana. And keep in mind, when we were growing up during the 60s and 70s, it was now 27, 30%. So it's a whole different world. It can be put into edibles like bromine. The problem with edibles, you will take an edible in, about half an hour later, you say, oh, nothing's happening. And you take the second one. They've got a longer lag time than people realize. They overshoot. And with the edibles, you're going to be on for a very long time. They're slow on board, very long acting. People don't realize it, and they overshoot and have really misadventures. It also, a tincture is where they use alcohol to extract the THC, and then they put it in a solution where you can put a drop or two under your tongue. They also make it into a powder. If you have no
I
powder,
never heard that.
it's fat soluble. They also will compress it and make it into a wax, which is super duper potent. And there, put that up and inhale the fume from it, and that's like dabbing. That's incredibly
I never
potent.
knew what that was, so thank you for bringing that up.
No problem.
I have another question for you. I've known uh, people that are, struggling with cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times marijuana is the only thing that will help them. Is it true that they would rather have them ingest it instead of smoking, and why?
Well, uh, smoking is difficult for your lungs. Anything you smoke is not good. Any kind of smoking is difficult. And a lot of people who are sick and dying are going to have respiratory or heart complaint. And you'd rather that they not smoke anything, but THC does seem to help people with their mood a little bit and with nerve.
My daughter, and this is something that we talked about
Mm-hmm.
probably like the first time I met you, and
Yeah.
we found out what we were doing, who we
Mm-hmm.
knew and everything like that. And she was working with a project injecting pure THC, and I was under the impression from her and a lot of other people that did research that
Mm-hmm.
pure THC is not addictive. And then what Dr. Andy said next, kind of like, what? Like, what?
Okay. Well, what's happened is that in theory, THC is not physically, you don't typically get a physical withdrawal symptom. Anything you use that changes your mood can be a psychological.
Psychotic break. He put my brakes on right away when I heard that.
Okay,
I'm like,
yeah.
holy crap.
We've had what our numbers are, there are numbers out there of per psychotic break for somebody where they're going to be injection of different percent.
What
The
does that look like, Andy?
person has a break history activity, they'll have typically bad anxiety, confusion, panic, not a pleasant way to feel. And they'll need to be impatient and given medicines to calm down, reassurance, and just any kinds of behaviors that sort of feel.
That's crazy. But that scared the hell out of me when you said that.
Now, it can make in a susceptible person, it can make them have very unpleasant sensations like paranoia, panic, fear. Some people say they just have that fear they're never going to be sober. They're not going to come to. And I'm not trying to fearmonger about marijuana. Small amounts.
Well, one thing that really surprised me the last time I went home to Buffalo is that I also went to Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, it seemed like every couple blocks there was a
Yes.
dispensary in Canada.
I was working recently in northwestern California, right up by the Oregon border. And there were more dispensaries than liquor stores, and the whole area just smelled like stuff. So again, this is not commentary. People, you know,
It's an observation.
want to do it. That I just always have said that I would be cautious. I would look at your there's any indication of addiction, I look at your family history, your genetics, susceptibility, look at what you're taking, why you're taking
What I would really love to see if they did studies out there
it.
for states that marijuana is legal now,
Mm-hmm.
if how much psychotic breaks have gone up.
The problem is psychotic breaks can be multifactorial. Most of the time, there's a whole bunch of other things going on too, where you can't just have a clear, easy, this happened because of that. This happened because the person is homeless, also drinking, whatever. You get multifactorial, but you don't get clean numbers from it. You just have observed that there are more psychotic breaks in people using the high
It I gotta say because it happened to me, Andy, when the gummies first came out in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking those hard cider crisp apple things, and somebody had gummies at the party, and I said, "Well, I'll have one."
Mm-hmm.
And I was catatonic. I was out.
You're,
Why does that happen?
it depends. Uh, you have independent sativa. One is more
In the
sedating.
couch.
Yeah. One, yeah, indica. Yeah. One is more sedating. One is more stimulating. It's all by dose. One of indica is what I've seen people using gummies to induce gentle relaxation of the body. But throw 50 of these in and milligram gummies and throw that in, that person's, especially if they're THC naive and psychotic, that person's going to go that person's going to go blend themselves in. You know? And
In
if
the
you,
couch.
yeah, and if you throw alcohol on top of it, it's,
So I gotta say, because when I was dating a young lady, she
mm-hmm.
claimed she didn't smoke, but every time I would kiss her, I could taste the marijuana. And because she was doing gummy. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll take one. I'll try one."
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, Andy. It was the ittiest, bittiest little thing. And like I said, I have taken it before. I was out, dude. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing you got to be careful. Where are you getting these from? What is potency? Talk a
Yeah,
little bit about that.
the dispensaries are reputable, they're licensed, etc. And most of the time, we're going to have somebody there who can say, okay, this is this does this is a starter dose, this didn't even the problem is people sometimes don't listen, sometimes they overtreat, and there are people who just don't chemical, just like don't tolerate
Yeah,
alcohol,
this guy doesn't tolerate the chemical, that's for sure.
not want to be put on slow or just always tell people, yeah, long term use high potency drugs. So there's a very well documented cycle for vomit.
What the hell is that? We're running out of time, but I got to hear this. We're going to go over a couple minutes.
Okay. What will happen is in some people where they use lots of high potency THC, they'll sick for a couple of days and intractable vomiting. They're vomiting, they're in the emergency room, being checked for appendicitis and ulcer or whatever, and there's nothing you can do about it other than bring
That's
them in.
crazy. I've never heard of that.
It's relatively new, last 5 years.
Because the use had been
Well,
going up like
it's
crazy.
well, the potency.
Well, listen, everybody. I'm just going to say this again because this is a very volatile subject. All the comments and statements by Eddie Buffalo and Dr. Andy are purely for entertainment purposes. Make sure you talk to your physician if this is something you
That's
want
good.
you want to go down that road.
Sage advice.
And we went a couple minutes over, but that's okay because this is a very important thing. And let us know in the comments if this is something you want us to do a part two on. We always say that about a lot of Dr. Andy
Mm-hmm.
shows because I feel like we're only scratching the surface of a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean? So Dave there?
Dave's not here, Matt.
No, man, it's me. Let me in. It's Pedro. So we're gonna leave with that, and we're gonna end the show like we end every other show. And if you like working with people that are just like you, have the same passion for life, have the same values, and love your children as much as we do ours, we are definitely the people to see. You can reach that EBI agency, EBIagency.com. I know, right? You can also email us at eddiebuffaloinsurance@gmail.com. We do have new personalized ones, but it's just easy to remember that. And the hotline is 716-541-4118. And remember, Andy, and everybody out there in podcast land, life is definitely worth living. What you got to do, Andy?
Just keep fighting.
Just keep fighting, baby. There is. It's right next to Candyland, which my kids cheated in all the time. God bless their heart. And that's probably the only thing is a felony in New Jersey.
Hold my
Because if you ever want to piss off somebody from New Jersey, ask them what exit they live at. So have a good day. We'll see you next week, everybody. Take care.